Hello and welcome back to Broadside Gaming with me, Zug, and special guest today.
It's Ugg.
Ugg's here, hooray!
What are you doing? What's going on?
It's a big day today, Ugg, and that's why I've summoned you from your crypt.
I wondered how I ended up in a Darktide guide video.
So today we've got an update, and it's a beefy one, folks. So let's kick it off. What have we got? So we've got some new features. We're just going to be going down the list, and I'll be showing you what's going on, and Ugg will be chipping in with his deft opinion.
You did make notes in case I just completely sidetrack you.
I have made notes, don't worry.
Good.
So starting off, you can now see the blessings you haven't earned yet for re-blessing at the Shrine of the Omnissiah. This will appear in the bottom corner card, and it appears in the stalls and on your loadout and on the shrine. So basically, looks like this. See that? It's got a little magnifying glass next to it saying, "Please earn me, please." That's useful. You don't have to play the guessing game anymore, and I'm quite happy with that because it really annoyed me. And now for the slightly more exciting part. I know, how much more exciting could it get than a little icon saying what you haven't got? We got some new weapons. Oh, weapons. So,
Weapons.
yeah. So we got the Demios Mark IV Blaze Foresword, a foresword with a focus on single target damage and a precise stab attack. The Ilias Mark V Blaze Foresword, a foresword with a focus on hoarding management with a charged warp energy, and so basically it cuts through groups really well. And now, because I'm on the Ogryn, and I don't actually have those swords, so I can't show you a preview of them, but I can show you some of the Ogryn stuff. We've got the Brunt Basher Mark III-B, which is this bad boy. It's a more basic Vanguard, and relentless moveset that can be mixed up with slaps and punches. So basically, your pimp slapping stuff, it's a bit of metal on a stick, basically. And it looks quite cool. Fairly high light attack damage, but low heavy attack. The next one we've got is the Brunt's Basher, which is actually this one, sorry. So the Brunt's Pride is this one. The Brunt's Pride is the basic version, and the Brunt Basher sends opponents flying with tanky uppercuts, swings, and strikes them down with lethal strike down combos. They've said strike down far too many times in that description.
Strike down, strike down, strike down to strike down.
Yep. This is for striking down. Strike them down. And then we've got a Minotaurium Mark VI Power Sword. A power sword with a more varied moveset. I don't know what that means. It's varied. And I'll come back around to this one.
Presume you'll do a video for that.
Oh, yeah, I'll be doing a video on all of these. Don't you worry, folks. There will be a separate video coming for all of these weapons. The next weapon in the list, I'm very, very excited about, and I did have a little play of it before the video, is the Iron Helm Mark IV Thunderhammer. A Thunderhammer, slightly more capable of dealing with several enemies. It can cleave through multiple light enemies before dealing the obliterating blow while activated. And that's right. It goddamn means when you activate the weapon, it doesn't just blow its load on the first target. It cleaves through, then explodes.
We've actually made a Thunderhammer more like a Thunderhammer.
We've got a working Thunderhammer, folks.
Does it actually work like a Thunderhammer?
Yes. I was testing it out. I was testing it out in the meat grinder just before the video. So yeah, we'll have. I'll switch over to the Zealot at the end, and we'll have a look at it because I'm really excited for it. I've wanted a Thunderhammer since this goddamn game came out, and now we've got one. So now, next up is the Gorgum Mark IV Twin Linked Heavy Stubber, an even heavier heavy stubber, hard hitting and slow rate of fire. So that is
the heaviest of heavy stubbers.
Yeah. There isn't a preview version of one here, so I can't quite show you, but this is the heaviest version. And then the next one is the Achilles Mark VII Twin Linked Heavy Stubber, so it's a lighter version. Relatively light twin linked heavy stubber that has increased mobility and is preferably used at short range. So this is a medium to short range, lighter version. So more of your run and gun kind of version. And then 2 more new weapons.
Run and gun heavy stubber.
Yep. Well, you're an Ogryn. You can run a gun of everything.
Contradiction.
Not for an Ogryn. It doesn't know the meaning of the word. Next up is the Agrippina Mark 7 combat shotgun. So this is for both the Zealot and the Veteran. It's an accurate and fast-firing long-range combat shotgun with a boost to weak spot damage. It can also be loaded with a powerful and hard-hitting single-shot slug round. That's right, folks.
That's 5 times.
God no. We can finally build our hobo with a shotgun build. And last but not least is the Kentrell Mark 9 combat shotgun, a powerful and aggressive combat shotgun with a widespread and high damage. It can also be loaded with incendiary rounds that set enemies ablaze. That sounds fun.
That sounds
yes,
cool.
It does sound cool.
Well, not cool. I mean, you know.
That sounds hot. Spicy
Cool in
hot.
a burning people to death kind of way.
The best kind of way. So they're the new weapons. There's still more to come, folks. Major operatives reports lack sufficient data. It must know everything that occurs. Sorry, Hadron was moaning at me. So we've got some new conditions. Shortly after the deployment of Tools of War, the new mixture of conditions will be seen for the next month as we try out a variety of combinations together. Each week we will see a different combination, and the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, will also see their own mixtures. So yeah, I mean, almost in-game weekly events, which is nice. We'll be regularly reading feedback on these conditions and their combinations, so please let us know what you think. The combinations we are trying out are thus. Shock Troop Gauntlet. So if you've played Vermintide, it's very much like the Black Rat Patrols. There's Storm Vermin. So these are special spawns.
Storm Vermin in.
Well, I wish they would. Specialist spawns are doubled and they spawn in waves. This next one's going to be...
What would they be a patrol of, though? Sorry, did they say? Or just like...
Nope. Just doubled and in waves.
Because before there would be, like, you know, patrols of, like, Storm Vermin, which kind of logically made sense, and patrols of, like, Chaos Warriors. And monks. No, the monks never really patrolled, did they?
No, but they spawn in big sort of groups where they were preying around each other.
I just wonder what the mobs would be they'd use in those patrols. You know what I mean?
I honestly don't know, man. There might be heavy gunners, Ogryns, you know.
Oh, if there was to patrol those Ogryns, you might be able to get that 6 Ogryn kill.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Well, the
anyway.
Shock Troop Gauntlet is live as we're recording this. I've just had a look.
Ooh.
The next one is Ventilation Purge with snipers. So fog covers the mission and snipers will guard random locations in the missions. So get ready for your arse to be shot off. Oh yeah, that's going to be awful.
Sounds terrible.
But there is a dev note here.
You give them super feedback. It sounds horrible.
The enemies that appear in darkness and ventilation purge conditions have been tweaked to use a shorter distance requirements for their line of sight checks. So enemies are now more affected by the lack of visibility as well. So they can't just hit scan you from the darkness, hopefully. And the bit I'm quite excited for, man, is they're mixing up the conditions. So we've got darkness with hunting grounds, a darkness covered level combined with hunting ground hounds that spawn in the waves. Darkness and high intensity. Darkness and low intensity. A ventilation purge with snipers plus high intensity. That's going to be fucking awful. So in this one, fog covers the mission. There are a high intensity number of enemies, in addition to snipers guarding random locations. I mean, this all sounds incredibly fun and enraging. A ventilation purge with snipers and low intensity, hunting grounds with high intensity, hunting grounds with low intensity, shock troop gauntlets with high intensity, that's going to be funny, and shock troop gauntlets with low intensity. And if you hadn't noticed in the background of the video, they have actually moved the shop. So it's no longer here. It is now next to Sire Melix and the Omnisire. So everything's kind of in one place finally, which is nice. They've added some back-end engine features. I'm not going to get into those because honestly I don't care. It still loads like a dead dog, so you know, hopefully they'll fix that at some point. But they have done some nice changes to the Psyker. Quelling of Perils Overhaul. Lower quell time for passive quelling, effectively twice as fast now. Lower quell time for active quelling, effectiveness 0.5 seconds faster than across the curves. Shifted the current peril scale to not scale quell time. The fuck?
Not scale quell time.
Not to scale quell time as aggressively. Previously, quelling picked up speed over time, making high peril quelling more effective than low peril quelling.
High peril quelling.
This curve is now more linear. Increasing passive quell speed on non-force weapons, they get a 25% reduction. This returns the non-force weapon passive quelling to the same levels as before the 1.03 patch. But the central changes for the quell speed, the difference between force and non-force weapons is now more sensible. Force weapon passive quelling baseline is 12.5 seconds and non-force weapon lands at about 9.5. Okay, that's good. Was previously around 24 seconds for both, which was ridiculous. There's a whole load of enemy changes. We'll quickly run through these. Tweaked the poxhounds so they're more easy to stagger. Changed enemy drag and scab flamers from their melee attack from a shove to a kick. Added variations to the poxburster sounds. Tweaks the dreg shotgunners so they follow players when engaged in melee, so they don't just stop and then blast you in the face. I appreciate that. Added more damage fall off to the shotgunners from 15 meters to 8 meters, so they don't instantly hit scan you when you walk into a room. Reduced shotgunners and assaulters toughness damage. Normalized some aim duration and shooter cooldown values across all difficulties. So literally they're not going to be rock hard and firing almost continuously. Increase the frequency of hounds in hunting grounds. Fix the bulwark stationary melee attacks. Enable disable shield blocking to match the animation. Okay, that's good. So they're not just going to turtle up for 90% of the time. Fixed.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so they fixed the bulwark also. So heavy staggers disable the shield blocking to match the animation. Change the.
What's a heavy stagger as opposed to a normal stagger?
So like a heavy weapon attack stagger or a heavy stagger with like a thunder hammer, a power maul, or something like that. You know, something that would like almost knock them to the ground. Fix the bulwark so their shield push attacks don't do stupid amounts of damage. Change it so poxbursters explode accordingly after getting staggered multiple times after not triggering the fuse. That's useful. Slightly increase the number of enemies that spawn during mission objective events. Okay, so we're a little bit crazier now. That's a fun change. Oh, Christ. Oh, no, I've read that wrong. Increased explosive barrel damage, period, especially versus monstrosities. Okay. I was going to say, barrels don't need to do any more damage to me. They're already lethal. Increased fire barrel damage and duration from 8 seconds to 15. Removed high stagger from fire barrel explosions so enemies don't end up outside the fire area. Increased how many of the same specials can spawn in Heresy and Damnation difficulty. Increased the number of specials able to spawn in Coordination Strikes and Heresy and difficulty from 4 to 5. 4 to 5 for Heresy and 5 to 6 for Damnation. Tuned down the amount of dregs that spawned as roamers. Reduced the roamer aggro range when hordes are triggered across all difficulties. Reduced default minion shoot alert radius from 20 meters to 12 in all missions. Changed it so poxbursters explosions can break barrels now. Okay, that's going to be interesting. Fixed an issue where poxhounds pounce push was dealing 1 damage to nearby players. And fixed VO for tagging dreg rages. Okay. They've added a new crosshair for the Lawbringer, and they've tweaked the coil glow on the plasma gun, so it's not as in your face. Yeah, I mean,
don't you think about the plasma gun like cooldowns to make the plasma gun like more?
No, sadly there is, from what I've read, there is no buffs or changes to the plasma gun as it is.
I want plasma to be good.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too. But they have added blessing icons along your HUD, so you can actually see when blessings are active instead of just guessing. Negative buffs and debuffs now appear in a separate row. Damage over time effects like bleeding, fire, or soul blaze should now give red hit markers to the crosshair when such are affecting enemies. Feats. Buff icons for various feats now always show numbers when applicable. Ogren Skullbreaker feat Raging Bull now shows a buff icon when active. Psychokinetic feat Kinetic Deflection now shows a buff icon. Mind in Motion, Camo Expert, Deadshot, Demolition Stockpile, and Faith Restores All of these have numerical markers on them. Balance changes, so they've upped the Cursus Mark II Thunderhammer damage up from like 50 to 100.
That sounds quite like. Is that the original Thunderhammer?
Yeah, so like versus Manix, it's gone from 50 to 100 on light impact.
Seems like
75 to 100 on infected. Heavy attack has gone from on Carapace from 25 to 50%. I mean, they definitely know the original Thunderhammer was a bit shit.
Sounds like they're like buffing its damage quite a lot.
Yeah, man.
That's not like a insignificant amount of increase.
That isn't
like,
a piddly.
Double it.
Yeah, they're trying. Bless them. You know, I'm not going to write off the Thunderhammer until they've stopped playing with it.
Maybe it's a bit of a. Maybe it requires another look.
Yep.
Another video.
But they have changed, and this is something people have been popping off about. They've been really excited about this bug, and they were hoping they were going to keep with it, but they haven't. So the faux end Mark II, 5, and 6 Ripper guns. They've the can opener blessing does only work after you've used the special attack stab now, instead of just all the time. They have doubled the amount of brittleness on it, and they have buffed the can opener blessing to be much more effective, but you can only trigger it after you've used the stab.
What does the can opener blessing do?
Basically adds a load of stacks of brittleness onto carapaced and heavy armored targets, so it basically turns their armor off.
Oh, so you're supposed to stab them, but it wasn't working like that. It was just like affecting everything.
Yeah, it was just auto working.
Oh, I'm sure people did hope that would stay on.
Well, yeah.
It's just like it.
And there's like a multitude of other sort of back-end fixes and slight tweaks here and there that aren't wildly interesting. But I mean, overall, man, I'm pretty impressed with this patch.
It does sound like they've sort of made an effort to change quite a bit of stuff.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to hear like how the Thunderhammer does, because you know the new Thunderhammer. Is that the right way to call it?
Yeah, man.
The old Thunderhammer.
I'm gonna switch across and have a quick look. This isn't going to be like the comparison video. I'm going to do a proper video on it, but we're just going to have a quick look at the new Thunderhammer now, because I did promise at the beginning of the video we would.
Has it got a different model?
It's actually the model, you know, from the loading screens where the Zealot's holding the hammer. It's that model. And the model you saw in all the teaser trailers back in the day.
All right, okay. I would say I'd know what that is, but I tend to black out during the loading screen. I just wake up like 5 minutes later and the game's there.
Fair enough, man. Assistance is available. I mean, there aren't any good ones in the shop at the moment, so I'm not going to buy one, but there's the new Iron Helm Thunderhammer. That's the new Agrippina shotgun. It's the old Lawbringer. Yeah, let's go have a quick look at this tasty Thunderhammer. Thunder.
No.
No. No AC/DC. We only groove to fucking lo-fi on this channel. With its funky fresh beats. Okay, so this is new Iron Helm. That's his base model. So it's got a really nice swing radius to it. So let's turn this bad boy on and see what it does. Oh yeah. So it cleaves through and explodes on the last target. Let's try it with a single target. I mean, not bad. Yeah, I mean, it's far more viable than the old one, but we do need to test the old one out. Yes, there it is. Okay, so the light attack damage now isn't absolutely abysmal. Oh, that was big. I mean, it's not super terrible, man. The changes they've made seem to.
It's not the best review.
Well, man, I'm literally just randomly testing it by whacking stuff in the meat grinder. There's no math hammer behind this at the moment. This is just going by eye.
I just like it. I just like the review. It's not super terrible. It's not, and kind of you to say.
So this is on damnation difficulty in the meat grinder, so everything's like jacked up to. Not bad. I think the changes to the Thunderhammer are going to be worth having a look into, man. I'm pretty excited by this. Got any thoughts or questions you'd like to add, Doug? Or are you just thoroughly confused?
I'm confused, but I will undoubtedly see it when I play.
Yeah.
I'm sure you'll wax lyrical about it, but
oh, I will.
You know, I shall certainly watch your video when you make one about this.
Well,
chop chop.
Right, but yeah, that's the that's the patch for today, folks. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope it's been, you know, interesting at least.
Elucidating is the word I would use.
Yeah, elucidating, intriguing, you know. And if it has been, you know, please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. And I shall see you all for the next round of weapon guides that should be coming up, you know, soon. Well, a load of them would have been recorded, but there will be more. So many more. So until next time, folks, thanks so much for watching. I shall see you later.